Buying a premium electric vehicle today demands an expensive upfront decision. You have to decide whether to spend up to $8,000 on software that takes physical control of a 2-ton machine at highway speeds. The market forces you to choose between a heavy premium for Tesla's full self-driving software or an alternative system from a traditional automaker. Tesla operates on a very specific engineering philosophy. They believe generalized artificial intelligence and passive optical cameras are the only tools a car needs to navigate any road on Earth. Manufacturers like Mercedes-Benz, Waymo, and Polestar take the opposite approach. They believe safe autonomous driving is impossible without diverse, redundant physical sensors mapping the environment. To process that high volume of sensor data, traditional automakers are relying on specialized heavy-duty physical computing hardware built by companies like NVIDIA. This choice represents a split in core engineering principles, trusting a system that relies on generalized software scaling versus one built on deterministic hardware safety. This comparison matrix strips away the marketing language so we can look at the physical architecture. On the left, Tesla relies entirely on 9 cameras. On the right, the Mercedes-Benz L2 Plus system relies on 30 separate sensors, blending cameras, radar, ultrasonics, and LiDAR. By evaluating the physics and latency, their weather resilience, and legal liability of both structures, we can calculate exactly what safety and protection you are getting for your money. Because Tesla's cameras are passive, the vehicle cannot physically measure how far away an object is. The AI has to guess the depth and speed of the cars around it by comparing sequential video frames as the vehicle moves forward. This stabilization costs time, resulting in a Tesla processing latency of 89 milliseconds. The Mercedes LiDAR and radar emit physical waves for instant measurements, cutting that delay to 47 milliseconds. At 120 kilometers per hour, Tesla's extra delay adds 1.4 meters to emergency stopping distances. Achieving that low latency response requires an engineering trade-off. Integrating laser and radar sensors makes the vehicle visually bulkier and drives up manufacturing complexity. But at highway speeds, an extra fraction of a second in processing delay directly increases your risk of a rear-end collision. A fast system is useless if it cannot see the road. Heavy rain, snow, and sun glare represent the highest point of failure for any automated vehicle. Tesla tackles bad weather completely with software. Their neural networks construct dynamic grids over the camera feeds to tag localized fog, rain, or smoke, intelligently suppressing phantom braking. Software cannot bypass physics. If a camera lens is covered by sun glare or mud, the vehicle completely loses its ability to see forward. This cross-section animation illustrates how Mercedes and Waymo handled the same scenario. While light waves scatter and blind optical cameras in thick fog, their active radar systems emit radio frequency waves that pass cleanly right through the obstruction. Radar and LiDAR don't rely on ambient light. These multi-sensor systems maintain a continuous, highly accurate physical map of traffic, even in complete whiteout conditions. The strict limitation of this multi-sensor architecture is its heavy reliance on pre-mapped high-definition zones. If you leave a geofenced area, the system will often refuse to engage at all. You have to choose between a system designed to attempt driving anywhere until it gets blinded, or a system that drives with total precision, but only on the specific roads where it is permitted. Moving past the physics of the sensors, the biggest difference between these two systems is the financial cost and the legal burden they place on the owner. Tesla charges a premium for their vision-only approach. Buyers pay an $8,000 upfront cost or a $1,188 yearly subscription to access the software. The legal catch is tied to its classification. Tesla FSD remains a Level 2 supervised system. If the car makes a mistake and causes a crash, 100% of the legal liability rests on you, the driver. You pay $8,000 to act as an unpaid, highly stressed safety monitor, constantly ready to wrestle control away from the AI at any moment. The Mercedes L2 Plus multi-sensor architecture takes a different commercial route. The Advanced Driver Assist package carries a significantly lower ex-factory price tag of $3,950. Mercedes uses a cooperative steering model. You can manually adjust the steering at any time without the system abruptly disengaging, which keeps you smoothly in the driving loop and prevents sudden handoff failures. The crucial shift comes with certification. As Mercedes upgrades these multi-sensor suites into Level 3 autonomy, the legal liability for a crash transfers entirely away from the driver and onto the manufacturer. To offer that kind of legal protection, Mercedes heavily restricts the car. It operates like a train on rigid tracks and will flat-out refuse to navigate the complex, unmapped rural edge cases that Tesla encourages its drivers to test. It comes down to risk allocation. You have to decide if you want to pay double to absorb all the legal blame, or pay less for a restricted system that brings manufacturer-backed liability protection. The right architectural fit depends entirely on the geography and weather conditions of your daily commute. This decision tree flowchart breaks down the reality of the purchase. You start by answering one foundational question. What is your primary commuting priority? If you live in a warm, dry climate, want bleeding-edge tech, and prioritize the ability to use point-to-point navigation on unmapped residential streets, then your match is Tesla FSD. You must be willing to accept the high upfront cost and assume total legal liability. But if your commute involves heavy rain, snow, or fog, and your main priority is reducing highway fatigue with guaranteed fallback safety, your match is the Mercedes L2 Plus, or a similar multi-sensor system. It costs thousands less and actively moves towards manufacturer liability. Weather data and latency benchmarks prove that hardware redundancy provides physical protection in rain and fog that software code alone cannot yet match. Do not buy a software package based on a CEO's promises of a driverless future. Buy the engineering architecture that actually matches the physical reality of the roads you drive on every single day.